Heyo, it's the FirePitChilling. My name is Gucci, and I am the one that causes the delays. Here we got Joey, the one who is just freshly trimmed.
Yeah, that sounds a little weird, but yeah.
Here we got Ernie, the humble one.
Be humble.
And here we got Jeff, the one who's going to be on the lead tonight.
Hey, there it is.
So, Jeff, you're on the lead tonight. What are we going to talk about today?
Okay, so I read this article. What was this? Maybe like last week or something like that. So about a week ago, and it was
About a week ago.
About a week ago, I read it, and it was about cell phone usage in the next generation. So, like Joey currently is part of that situation because he's on a cell phone right now. So no, pretty much what I read.
It's for a bit.
And I think this was for kids born from like 1996. What was that? Yeah. Oh, it was 2000? Okay, so so kids born in 2000 onwards. But I think part of it can extend a little bit before that, a little bit after that. Anyway, you guys all know this, that kids nowadays all have cell phones. Just to get this out of the way, I got my first cell phone in 9th grade. Gucci, when did you get your first cell phone? 6th grade. Ernie, when did you get your first cell phone?
8th grade.
8th grade, Joe.
8th grade.
Okay, so there's a tidbit, and nowadays we all know that we see little kids, like probably like 4th grade or so, that have cell phones, right? At least I see it a lot. So this whole article, it was talking about how this has had a huge change and how legitimately almost like cell phones with respect to social media are kind of shaping the future generation in a negative way. Because, and again, this is all on the article, and we'll link this in the description, but this article had these kind of like analytics, and part of it was that, you know, kids on their a lot of kids in high school nowadays are like glued to their cell phones, right? And because of that, they're less inclined to get their driver's license. So instead of like, I got my license at 17, I think, and a lot of kids in high school, like when we were in high school, they wanted their license as early as like 10th or 11th grade. And nowadays, most kids aren't getting a license until at least like 18 or 19, pretty much when they absolutely have to. So there's no drive for the freedom because they have a cell phone. They can talk to their friends that way. Why would I want to drive there? I just asked my parents to drive me there. The second thing was that as their cell phones, as they're using their cell phones so much, they're not inclined to drive. They're less inclined to go out more. So they're actually staying in on weekends more often, as opposed to previous generations that were going out to parties every weekend and going out. So they're less inclined to go out. They're less inclined to drink. So it actually solves underage drink, quote unquote, reduces underage drinking. So these kids aren't drinking as much, which again, it makes it safer. They're not going out as much, they're not driving as much, and they are not consuming alcohol as much. And then the flip was that these kids that are utilizing this, like they're glued to their cell phones and social media, the depression rate is way higher, and like the suicide rate is way higher. So are they safer? Physically, yes. No matter what way you put it. If you're staying inside, you're safer than being in a car by someone that's only been driving for a few months. But the depression is way higher, which leads to, you know, the all these different mental problems. So it's this thing where it's like people are physically safe but mentally unstable. And pretty much what I want to throw to you guys is like what you think in particular of that, and if you think, because there's no going back. No matter what anyone says here, like, oh, well, if we collectively try to stop, no, you're not going back. Social media is here to stay. That's just how it is going to be. But do you think there's a way to maybe shape future generations? Because this generation's already set. They're going to be on their cell phone forever, and maybe they'll figure it out later, so I don't know. And we're kind of a part of like a transitional period because we had cell phones kind of like towards high school and onwards. So we like I use mine all the time, but I wasn't using it as a kid, so I was more inclined to go out and venture and look for bugs and stuff like that. So I'll just throw that on the table if anyone wants to chime in for that.
I kind of want to know is the depression and suicide rate up because of like cyberbullying off social medias? Is that what it said in the article, or
Well,
it didn't specify?
I don't think it really specified, but I would
Okay.
think it probably goes towards it's this drive of like loneliness, you know.
Okay.
So everyone's status on social media, again, regardless of what you think, it kind of matters. And for us nowadays, like, I don't really care if my picture gets X amount of likes. I don't care. But if I had Instagram in 6th grade, I would totally care how many likes it gets. Because you're a kid. You're immature. So these kids that are immature, they're letting it hit them really hard. So-and-so didn't like my
100
yeah.
likes on it
Or
something.
maybe not even the amount of likes. Maybe they just want a certain person to like it. You know, if you're in 6th grade and you have a crush on someone, they rule your world.
True.
And if they don't like it, it just that's what I think. All these little tidbits add to it, to where they're like, it gets them mentally unstable.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Like, I don't know. Like, there's not much you could really do in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the problem is too, parents, I feel like nowadays are encouraging, or not, maybe not encouraging, but aren't discouraging the fact that they're using these cell phones all the time.
Yeah, because it's
like
just
that.
a part of who they are.
Because it's like, since social media, phones in general are such a huge part of everyone's life now, I've seen parents literally just throw their phone at a kid just to distract them.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
It's
actually.
like, play a game on my phone. Here, play a game on my phone. Here, watch a video on my phone.
Yeah.
So the kid, like, at 1 or 2 years old, is already addicted to these
I
phones.
didn't even think of that. Yeah.
And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Because it's like, oh, I know if I act up, I'm gonna get this phone, I'm gonna be able to play a game, and like that's all it is. So like automatically, it's like, it's right there. It's in their head that they want to be using a phone already,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like 1, 2, 3 years old. They already know how to like.
So you're
click
saying it's like
everything.
it's kind of planted.
Yeah, I think at this point too, it's like it's definitely planted by some parents, not all.
And with that, like you're saying, it's probably planted by certain parents, and if that's the case, it's probably planted by parents that are in like our generation. You know, kids that, because we didn't have cell phones in 4th grade and stuff like that, but now their kids are doing it because of what they're teaching them.
Yeah,
It's interesting
I think so.
because that means we're all equally a part of the problem.
I think in some way we're all part of the problem. It's like we could be the better example where we don't use our phones as much when we're around kids, but we do.
Yeah,
It's like a need
it is
at this point to check what's going on, check what's happening on Twitter real quick, even if it's like for a minute or two. You still need to.
First thing I do in the morning is always check my phone.
Yeah. So it's
Don't
like,
even care. I just do it automatically.
Yeah, it's a habit.
Yeah. It's my
Yeah,
alarm.
but you don't use your phone excessively, right? Like, we'll say
No.
Joey and we'll say Gucci.
Yeah.
Gucci's like on his phone when he's awake.
85% of the time I see Gucci, he has
He's
his
on
phone
his
in his
phone,
hand.
right? When we hang out, we'll check something really quickly that's like part of our conversation, and then we'll put it aside, or we'll reply to a text, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's certain people that you hang out with where when you're with them, you're not going to look at your phone, right?
Yeah.
So do you
Totally.
think do you think that these kids don't have that it doesn't matter who they're with, that they're going to be looking at their phone regardless?
I think to these kids in this generation that this article is talking about, I think when they hang out, it's to be on their cell phones together, talking about whatever's happening on. Oh, did you see someone posted this? Did you see someone posted that? And I think that's literally their hangout, not talking face to face, but like scrolling through their phone and kind of like just saying something while the other person's scrolling their phone, checking it out too.
Or I see what you're saying, Ernie, and there probably is. That's just for all of them. There probably is that moment. But again, you can go to the mall and see these kids. You'll see a group of like 5 kids. They're all hanging out. They're all on their cell phone. But 90, even if they're talking what they're doing, they're Snapchatting the conversations. This happens at work a lot, where people come in and the older people are all excited, then they forget, oh, can I take a picture? But when it's the kids, they're on their phone for the whole time, and then like an animal comes out, then they Snapchat it, they look at the animal for 2 seconds, and then they go back and like they post it and they put on captions. I see a lot of people like that. So I think that's what it comes to. So where they're hanging out, yeah, they're hanging out, but they're also like proving it to their friends. Like that's the main thing about Snapchat, to prove to your friends what you did today. And that's why I think a lot of these kids
Or to make
do.
other people jealous of what you did today.
pretty much,
Like, oh, I saw
That's
a
why-
sloth today.
or I saw Kendrick Lamar. That's why I put it up there.
True.
All right. Well, how about, since cell phones are a part of us, right?
Yeah,
And you said depression is the big thing.
yeah, according to the study.
What if people start posting, like, you know, instead of just posting the highs and the best parts of their life, like on Instagram, you're gonna post a picture of your vacation. I bought a new car. I'm eating
Yeah.
this dope ass food.
Bomb.
Like, you're not gonna post like, I'm sad. So what if you make that also normal, so people like will know?
So you're saying integrate social media to not only
Include all your-
yeah, so to not make it this superficial filter, because that's what it is right now.
Yeah.
Social media is
Yeah.
just
I mean,
here's my life, how awesome it is. You're saying here's my life, how regular it is.
Exactly.
I mean, Childish Gambino did that. Did you
Exactly.
remember that post?
Yeah.
Where he posted a bunch of note cards that he wrote on. Like, he was like, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's depressed, he's gonna kill himself, something like that. And Bino's like, no, I'm just expressing my feelings. Like, I just want to say it. Like, I want to put it out there.
Okay.
Like,
Exactly.
everyone freaked out.
And I think, I mean, with our generation, we could start that, because these kids at what, 8, 10 years old,
Yeah.
they're not gonna know they're depressed.
Nope.
They're just gonna know that they're sad. They're not gonna know why, unless they get evaluated by a doctor. But we have the option to do that. Like,
Yeah.
we're at a stage where we can talk to someone professionally about it, and then we can post about that. We could be like, hey, be aware about this.
Yeah.
So do you
So-
think?
Well, are you saying that could be a good alternative to
Yeah.
bolster this into a positive
Yeah.
set? I like that. I never thought about that, but I like where you're going with it, because yeah, partially, again, I'm not an expert, but according to what I read, what I think is that it's the social status. A lot of these kids get so bummed out because, you know, their positives aren't as high as the other people's positives.
Right.
But those people could have negatives lower than theirs.
Exactly.
So you're saying if we could just put everything on the table, no more secrets, something like that. Okay,
To a degree.
to a degree. I like that though. That's actually a good point. That could be a way to erase this sort of superficial filter that people have. Because again, no one's life is perfect. No matter what these people
Yeah.
put on social media, they're not that glossy. It just looks that glossy because they have a lot of.
Yeah, they
And
have the
and
option
kids
to
don't,
choose.
Yeah, and kids don't have that mentality to understand that not everyone's life is that great all the time.
Yeah, but would you say, because you said we have that power to do that now? Have you done anything similar to that?
I mean, I posted I'm depressed, or like I post when I'm upset on Twitter, and obviously people probably take it as a joke because of the people that know me, or they just don't care, so they keep scrolling. So I don't know how we would get people to listen.
Because if you think about it, it does kind of sound almost insincere because of the huge amount of positiveness. That if you put something negative, it's probably just like, oh, they're just doing that to
get
Get
attention.
attention.
Yeah. So, because if I were to see something like that, I'd be like, oh, what is this? A bit? So, I could see that. Yeah,
Then that's just something that needs to change with society, though.
it does.
And that's society is hard to change. Cause not it's like one person can change it, but it's like everyone really needs to get on board with that, and that's a hard thing to do.
But when you put that up, for instance, when you put up that like you're bummed out, are you putting it up there just to put it out there, or are you putting it out there to hopefully get some reciprocation?
I put it out there just to put it out there.
Okay, just to put on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I posted it like at what, 3 a.m.
Yeah, when your
Like,
thoughts are in your head.
Yeah, no one's really up except for Gucci.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hate myself.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I guess, yeah, because for me, when I'm when I'm really happy. It's like the Kendrick Lamar concert. We all saw Kendrick Lamar this past week, and it was freaking awesome. But I tweeted that because I was so ecstatic about it. Whenever I do have a bad day, though, I kind of erase myself from social media, where I don't open it. Definitely don't post anything, and I think it's
because you don't want to see people happy.
Yeah, I guess just because, like you said, there's some form of stigma on it. Like, who cares if you're having a bad day? And that's how I see things most of the time. Who cares? Not their problem. Like, why you gotta bum them out? So, I'm never gonna do it. But I guess it should be more regular.
It should be normalized.
It should be normalized.
Like, there should be no stigma on depression, mental illness, or just even if you're feeling sad or bummed out.
But I feel like there's not necessarily a stigma on that. I think it's just that people don't take it sincerely because there's nothing to compare it to. That's what I think. But I've never read otherwise.
I think people don't talk about it because people don't want to. People don't want to accept the fact that their life isn't great. People don't want to accept the fact that they get sad and like it's tough. Like they don't want to accept that, so if they don't talk about it, they kind of keep it on the back burner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, hello everybody.
Introduce yourself first.
I'm Paulo. I am one of these guys' friends, and I guess I'm here speaking up today. And I just thought this was a really, really cool topic because
It is. Make sure to talk into the microphone though.
I am okay, but no. Okay, so speaking of the positivity on the social media and stuff, right? There's these YouTubers I follow. They're called Simon and Martina. Shouts out to them. They they live in Japan, right? And they post videos of like just what they do in Japan, you know, like their everyday kind of stuff. And that's what you normally want or see in a YouTube video, right? But then the wife Martina, she lives with this I guess condition where like sometime or every day her joints like pop out of their sockets, so she lives in like severe pain every day, and like she's open about that. And like one of their videos, she posted how she got depression from like living with that kind of condition, and like she was just open about it, you know. And like I guess there's some people out there on the social medias that talk about that, but I guess there should be more people that should do that because you know it makes people seem more genuine, and it's like acceptable for people to have that, you know.
And it's like what Ernie said. It's because it's not normalized.
Yeah.
But also, let's say like that, like I post something like I'm sad, or I see someone post that, and I reply to someone else, be like, hey, like I feel that too. Like we could talk about it. Like one text, one reply, one comment. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure it'll help that person out. Mm-hmm. Like it'll make them feel better. Like hey, you're not alone. Like I'm with you, but so are millions, and they're just not talking about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like just text doesn't like texting someone, you know, like on your cell phone. I don't think that has much of an impact as actually talking to them.
Right.
So like,
but
I mean,
when it's someone you don't really know.
Oh.
Like how are you supposed to interact with them? Like if they're just a follower on Twitter, you know?
Like a follower on Twitter. I mean, a lot of people are on Twitter just so they can follow like their friends in real life. So I guess like we don't really have experience like that. But I guess for the people who do have those like followers that follow them, like Simon and Martina, they make videos of them on their bad days as well, and that makes them more relatable to more people. So I don't know, it's like seeing someone on camera, or I guess like not just texting, you know, it's like words are just words unless you put your voice into them, I guess. But I don't know, it like the more impact it has, the more it has like actually helping the person.
So pretty much if you saying it in person is better always, but
always.
Still saying something in general is better than nothing.
Yeah.
I think we can all collectively agree on that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. So So we could agree on that. And I like that point you brought up, that there is a channel that people do that, and and I should do that too. Most of all my posts on like Instagram are just positives, like stuff that I enjoy seeing, and most of the things I put on Twitter are just stupid random tidbits or the things I enjoy. So I guess, and it's because I'm less inclined to be open when I'm not feeling at my best. But I like what Ernie brought up. I'm going to try to do that. Actively put it out there. Not just to say, ooh, boo-hoo, look at me. But just to put it out there. I'm not looking for a sob story or for pity. I'm just, putting this out there just
normalize it.
Just to put it out there. I didn't have a good day today. Whatever. Life goes on. So, just like you said, to make it normal. I like that. And I think that, again, what I said earlier is that there's not going to be a cure for this whole social media thing. But there are clearly ways to push it in the right direction, and I think that's a good way to do it.
I think too, going along with Ernie's thing and like Paula's thing, it's like all these kids are very young and impressionable, and they follow a bunch of YouTube channels. Like that's a very big thing now too for these kids. So if these big YouTubers that they follow literally just make like a post, maybe not once a week or once a month, saying like, hey, like I didn't have the best time this week or something like that. Like I got down. It's like, I know it happens to everyone. I know like on their channels, like they probably portray it. And if they make that more normal on them, because they obviously have a big following or anything like that, then that would help even more too.
Yeah.
Especially to these kids that are young and impressionable. Because if we do it, we don't have an impression on this young generation.
Yeah, we don't.
Because none of them are following us on Twitter, on Instagram, most likely. So I think it's gonna more rely on these big famous social media people.
But at the same time, we don't have an impression on like the millions of generations, but we probably have an impression on a select number of people.
Yeah, that's
and
very
if we
true.
can make a positive impression on, even if it's a small select thing in a small city, whatever, that's better than nothing.
But even that, like everything on the internet, like everyone sees it. If it's good, if it's a good post, if it's funny, if it's stupid.
Yeah, more than often than not, people will see it.
Someone's gonna see it.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna repost it, retweet it, whatever, and it's gonna get around.
Yeah.
Regardless, if you want to or not. So, I mean, why not just
regardless. It doesn't matter your status or anything like that. Like it's got to be out there.
Like I don't think there's a stigma on that negativity. It's just not many people actually post it. Like
it's not out there enough.
Yeah. So like you said, just post everything. I guess when you're having a bad day.
Yeah, I guess if social media is going to be such a huge part of our lives, which it inevitably is, that's just how it works. It just is. If it is going to be that big, let's make it so it shows the whole spectrum. The grass is always green on the other side. Well, let's show the other side where it's not as green.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the stuff too is like the role models that kids pick. Like I don't know, it's not even worth naming names because you just give them more notoriety. But like the people that are like pranksters on YouTube and stuff, you know what I mean? Like that type of go and do property damage, like because this is a new challenge video. Like we're gonna go dunk on someone's, basketball court in their backyard.
Oh yeah.
And you say you could, go into someone's yard and their dog attacks you, then they have to like put down that dog because you went into their property and now you ruin their life for what? Like
couple likes.
Exactly.
Couple RTs.
Like in the insignificant amount of things that you do for challenges,
Yeah.
And I say it should be on us to guide people to actual like wholesome human beings. Where I say like we should not really reward people for being like ignorant and just bad people. Like that's the content that we reward.
Yeah.
And that's the content that we watch. And I do that too. I reward it too by watching like stupid videos because I just say like I'd never do that, but wow, that happened. And I think if we just put out more content, like you said, you have to make it available. And I see people on my Facebook that are more willing to post pictures of themselves crying. And at first I was like, wow, this is really like this is really special because I would never do that.
Never.
Because I feel like I'm somebody that would take it too personal if somebody like captioned it. Excuse me, captioned it, you know, like, and made it like a side meme, like, you know, like, oh, cried because they ran out of chicken nuggets or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Yeah,
that
of
would
course.
bother me a lot.
Uh-huh.
But where that person like put it out there and it's a picture of them crying and they could do whatever they want, but a lot of people just said, "Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I hope you get better. Hope you have a better day."
Mm-hmm.
But then you start seeing other people posting the same thing after it happened, and they're not really sad about anything. They just kind of said, "It's one of those days," you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of like, in a way, trying to get, you know, like what you said, trying to like almost fish for somebody to tell them like, "Oh, it's okay, you'll get better." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's just these kinds of posts that you say, it's not about popularity, it's about getting that like wholesome message of, yeah, like there's these days. But I don't know what you like take pictures of, you know what I mean? Like to express
Yeah, well, it doesn't
that.
necessarily have to be a picture either.
Yeah, I mean, you could just put any kind of picture in there and just put in your captions like, "Hey, I had
Yeah.
a bad week. This picture made me feel a little bit better, but I wanted to put it out there like, hey,
I
had a bad week."
You can even do what people do is just write on their notes, screenshot it, and post that.
Sure.
Yeah, like I like those things that you almost seem like you're just trying to just get it out there. Where there's other people that I've seen that just start like almost jumping on it as a sense of like, this is a different way to post to get likes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. And maybe I'm judging and maybe I'm part of the problem, and that's why I want to say that more or less. That maybe I'm one of those people that isn't readily accepting of it, because I feel like there's something that they're trying to gain from it for some people. But there's other people that I can clearly tell because I've had conversations with them. I've talked to them before. I know that they've really had a bad day and they posted about it. And that's the one where I try to say, like, you know, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's terrible, but, you know, like, if you do want someone to talk to, I will talk to you. You know, whether face-to-face or text or messenger or whatever. But there's other people that I feel like, you know what I mean? There's always going to be that person, I guess, that's trying to capitalize on those things.
Mm.
You know, trying to just...
But how do you identify which is which? Like, it's easier, like you said, because you know the people.
Yes.
But there's some that you're not close to.
That I just don't know, yeah.
Yeah, so like, how would you know if it's fake or not?
And that's where I don't know, like,
That's just us being judgmental, just inevitably. I've seen posts where I'm like, come on, are you really doing that? And that's me just being rude. I have no idea.
and that's where I say, like, not that I need an answer, because there's not really necessarily an answer. You have to find that change within yourself. But, like, am I doing that too early in that, saying that, oh, just writing it off of, you're just trying to get attention, you know, like, from a post that is a serious and sincere topic for other people.
And
you know, that takes a lot of courage to post, but
yeah.
some people are just like, well, that got a lot of likes. I want a lot of likes.
And that's the thing. There's always going to be the fakes. So no matter what happens, let's say everybody hops on this new trend of putting everything out there, whether it's good or bad. There's always going to be someone that exaggerates or something. That just comes with the
territory,
trend, the trend of the internet. It's just going to happen. So
Like, also, it doesn't really like do anything. Because, like, if anything, you're telling them, hey, I'm here for you. And if they're not sad, if it's a fake post, they're not going to do anything back. They're not going to text you back or anything, right? We're just going to leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people that are serious about it, you actually could help. Like, you actually could have a conversation. So you have nothing to lose by taking them seriously.
I see what you mean. Sorry about that. My fault. Yeah, no, I see what you mean, and I should do that in the sense, like, reach out, whether I do feel it's, like, because you don't know. You really don't know, and I feel like I generalize too much in that, and that's something that I shouldn't, because that might be part of the stigma, maybe. You know, like, I'm feeding into that, and just accept it as, like, it could be something that somebody had a hard time reaching out, and maybe it's uncharacteristic of them, but because it's uncharacteristic, it should be more of a sign to, like, hey, I'm here for you, you know?
I also think, though, and maybe this is just me, but I also think you should only reach out if you actively want
Yeah,
to help them.
exactly.
If you actively think you can help them, like, hey, I'm here for you. If you say something,
Yeah, you don't want to be disgenuine
yeah,
about it.
don't be insincere about it. Only do it if you actually think, or not even think. If you actively want to help, whether you're gonna help or not, who knows? But only reach out if you really want to. Like, don't just reach out to every post, because you're not gonna be able to help like 300 people.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But that's not how I work either. Like most of the people that I do follow or like I'm friends with, I do care about.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd say I would reach out to all of them if they did, you know, like ask for help. But I would also say because there's a good chance that I do care about you if I follow you or friends with you, or if I am able to see it, I most likely care about you. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I also see where you say, yeah, like if you just do it for everyone and you're just like,
Because I
what's
feel
wrong,
like
what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong,
I
what's
feel like I
wrong,
wouldn't be able to do it to everyone, and not to be disrespectful. It's just there's a lot of people, and then some people I don't know you that well. I don't think I'm the one to help. I hope there's someone else that can. I don't think I'm the one. So
Nice.
like for me personally, with every like let's say all my followers on Instagram, for instance, will not be able to help them all. Not even a huge amount, but there is a core. You know, those are like my staples. Like be able to help them out, and maybe others that I could. But as much as I'd like to help everybody, it's just not feasible. So for
Right.
me personally, I don't think I'd be able to. But not to you know say they shouldn't ask for help. That's what I think. Any other thoughts we got on this?
Any closing thoughts, Paulo?
Special guest just came out of nowhere.
No, this was just a great topic, you know. I don't know, and I think you know, like this depression stuff. It's with like people who are like, let's say, 8 years younger than us, and they're just teenagers. Like,
Yeah.
they're, you know, the hormones are really emotional, so I guess they can't really take constructive criticism as well, because it'll be like a little more hurt if you try to help them out. But I don't know. So to try to help the next generation,
Yeah, it's always on the
I
next.
say, like if we become parents, you know, like don't give our kids iPads at age 3. I know, like encourage what's it called,
Outdoor activities.
outdoor activities. You
That's
know,
what I would say. Yeah, just another little mini side note before we like close it. But like, yeah, if I ever have kids or something, I'm gonna encourage them to enjoy the natural world, enjoy what our planet has given us, and then when you get to a certain age, then you can enjoy what we as people have given each other. But I think I think the first thing, because everyone as a kid has had that spark of loving nature. All kids do. I think all kids should experience that. You know what I mean? Don't get glued to your cell phone at 5 years old, because there's so much world out there that you're gonna leave it behind regardless. Everyone grows up, and you're inevitably not outside as much for most people. So yeah, help give them that spark.
yeah, and like technology is not like the most important thing in your life. You know,
It's
like,
not. It's just a great benefit.
like human interaction with one another. That's really important.
All right. Well, I want to give one more shout out to The Atlantic that had this article, and it was written by Gene Twenge or Twang. How do you say it, Paulo?
Twinge.
Okay, let's say Gene Twang. Anyway, it's on The Atlantic. We're gonna link it in the description. Really good read. Awesome article. It kind of gave us the foundation for this whole piece. I enjoyed it. I think whoever listens to this, if you enjoy the topic, you definitely enjoy that.
For more, that article again, and just for future reference, Apple is not a parenting company, so do it yourself, people.
Ooh, shade.
Here we got Paulo. Thank you again, Paulo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeff,
Thank you.
and thank you for getting the article.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Joey, and
Welcome.
thank you, Ernie, for doing everything behind the scenes. This has been FirePitChilling.
What? Paula said everything's better on video. next week we're gonna have our first video
That was on the record, man.
on the record.
You should put an asterisk, assuming it works. I'm just not being serious. Assuming it works. Let's say it doesn't.
It'll work.
It'll work.
Okay.
We're confident.
I'm still putting an asterisk.
So stay tuned.
It'll work.
We're gonna make sure to put this episode in like December.
Just in case.
This has been FirePitChilling. See you in the new year.
I like it.
I like that outro.